Last-minute bombshell. Thomas Frank drops a bomb about Ivan Toney's future amid Arsenal's interest. And Fabrizio Romano brings bombshell revelations about the signing of this summer's Spanish target. Discover all this and much more now with the latest Arsenal news. But before that, if you're also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to our channel right now to stay informed about everything happening behind the scenes of the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's get into today's key news. Brentford manager Thomas Frank has now provided an update on the future of Arsenal transfer target Ivan Toney. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move for Brentford striker Ivan Toney. The Gunners are known to be on the lookout for a new striker. Along with Chelsea, they were credited with an interest in Toney this winter. However, no deal for the once-capped England man was forthcoming. Since the closure of the January transfer window, Gabriel Jesus has been hampered by yet another fitness issue which saw him sit out the match against Liverpool. Whilst Kai Havertz, Nketiah, and Leandro Trossard are all options who can be called upon to lead the line for Arsenal in the Brazilian stead, there is a lack of reliable goalscorers in the Gunners' squad. Despite this, it has now been revealed that Arsenal made no formal effort to sign Toney in January. According to Thomas Frank, as quoted by Evening Standard journalist Simon Collings, Toney will most likely be sold in the summer. However, the Danish coach also admitted, "This winter, we actually had no bids for him. But it would surprise me if there aren't a lot of clubs interested in him." Will Arsenal go in for Ivan Toney this summer? There can be no denying Toney's talent. He has proven his ability to be prolific at Premier League level and looks ready to take the next step in his career. He will also be eager to make up for lost time, having missed out on the majority of the current campaign by virtue of being banned for breaching betting rules. It will be fascinating to see if Arsenal make a concerted effort to secure his services this summer, or if they focus their resources on one of the many other strikers that they have been linked with. If Toney is the man they go for, then he has the capacity to be a star for the North London club. That being said, he won't come to the Emirates Stadium cheaply. The Bees put a £100 million price tag on Toney in January, and it is hard to foresee a scenario in which they would significantly lower their asking price in the summer. Given that financial factor, there may well be better value options available on the market for Mikel Arteta to consider. In the meantime, though, the Gunners need to find a way to be successful in the second half of this season with the attacking options already available to them. Transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano has now provided an update on where Arsenal stand in their chase to sign Martin Zubimendi. Arsenal were heavily linked with a move for Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi throughout the recent January transfer window. Ultimately, a move for the Spanish star never came to fruition, despite it being said that sporting director Edu was willing to trigger Zubimendi's £52 million release clause. The Gunners' lack of available transfer funds almost certainly prevented them from being able to get a deal for the player over the line. It would seem, though, that the North London club still hold a keen interest in the 25-year-old. Arsenal could certainly use midfield reinforcements in the coming summer when they will be due an overhaul in that part of the pitch. As things stand, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, and Mohamed Elneny could all depart at the end of the current campaign. However, there is a growing clamour for Arsenal to extend Jorginho's stay at the Emirates Stadium, as the 32-year-old has recently shown just how important he can be to Mikel Arteta's team. Even if the former Chelsea man were to be kept, though, the Gunners will still need to bolster their midfield contingent this summer. Martin Zubimendi stance on Arsenal move revealed. According to Fabrizio Romano, speaking to Court Offside, Arsenal are working on a deal for Zubimendi. The reporter said, "At the moment, there is nothing more than this, as Zubimendi only wants to focus on Real Sociedad and he loves his club. He is fully focused on La Liga and the Champions League, with no distraction at all. It will take time, there is nothing for February or March, despite some talk that Arsenal have already been laying the groundwork for this deal." Understandably, Zubimendi won't be allowing himself to get swept up by the speculation about his future at this time. Quite rightfully, his full focus is fixed on goings-on at Real Sociedad. With the January transfer window now been and gone, Arteta must now of course work with the options he has until the end of the season. Partey's recent injury setback has not helped in that regard. However, with Jorginho and Declan Rice looking like a strong partnership, there is no reason to panic about the state of Arsenal's existing midfield options, as long as they are not struck by further injuries. It will be fascinating to see how hard Arsenal push to get a deal for Zubimendi done in the summer. Of course, there are plenty of other midfield targets that they have been credited with an interest in who may be deemed to be of a higher priority. Arteta fast-tracks academy star into the first team. Mikel Arteta has fast-tracked Amario Koscielny into the senior squad ahead of Arsenal's game with West Ham. Koscielny, 18, has been hailed as the jewel of Arsenal's academy, and some even reckon he's the next Bukayo Saka, after shining for the Gunners' youth sides. But Koscielny could be on course for his senior bow after he was spotted training with Arsenal's first team this week. Mikel Arteta is keen to keep his side's title run going following an impressive win over top-of-the-table Liverpool. And Koscielny could be in line for a nod after grabbing 7 goals and 2 assists under Arsenal youth boss Jack Wilshere. Arsenal are reportedly bracing themselves for summer transfer offers for Jakub Kiwior, who recently impressed for the Gunners against Liverpool. The Polish international has established himself as a squad player for the North London side since joining from Spezia last January, with Kiwior playing at both left-back and in the centre-back position. Whilst not a guaranteed starter, Kiwior has shown in recent weeks to be a useful player in the Arsenal team, with the defender really impressing on the weekend against Liverpool after coming on at half-time. Yet according to the Evening Standard, Arsenal are now preparing to face bids from Italian clubs for Kiwior, with a number of Serie A sides linked with the Polish international in the January window. Lauded by Robert Lewandowski as an extraordinary talent, Mikel Arteta himself has spoken out publicly over how much the Arsenal manager rates Kiwior as a player. Indeed, although the 23-year-old defender is not a guaranteed starter for Arsenal, Kiwior has shown he can be a useful option for the Gunners in the backline, and selling him would be a mistake. Arsenal need to keep hold of Jakub Kiwior this summer. Arteta has spent his entire Arsenal reign building his ideal squad, signing the players that he fits the pieces that needed to be filled and doing so in a methodical way. And it's clear to see that Kiwior fits this puzzle, with the defender playing a unique role for the Gunners despite not featuring often in the starting 11. Which is why Arsenal need to do all they can to retain the Polish international this summer, with the 23-year-old a prospect that can develop further in North London under Arteta. Whilst there might be an urge to cash in on Kiwior if a tempting offer comes in, the former Spezia defender will already have it in his mind that Arsenal is the club for him, and that leaving would be a poor decision. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.